is it today? Almost this December, I think. And you might see a big fat cat in the background. I just want to review the day because one of my former students, she's an older lady. She came over and spent 4 hours, 5 hours. As I always said, she has some kind of motherly instinct, maternal instinct to take care of me, and I like her a lot. She's very proper. At the same time, she's not like totally consumed by her properness that she's like acting it out. But I just want to talk about how, personally for me, how the ChatGPT has helped me greatly, even with things like, the smoother communication, more pleasant communication, just when they come. And I always realize, like, when people come over that I'm not familiar with, my baseline anxiety rises a lot, making it harder usually for the person to, they don't want to stay, right? Because I don't think anyone likes to be driven to a high anxiety point. At the same time, there's a feeling like, if I don't speak up quickly or say things, they're going to be bored and leave. But for me, it's hard to overcome that kind of anxiety. But the LLM helped me greatly. And the thing I wanted to talk about, though, was more about the gotta focus on one thing, right? So there are some things that really surprise. I should title this "The Thing That Surprised Me That I Heard Today." That was like, so nowadays, right? Because we have LLMs, it's really not really that useful to ask a human being, well, what's the best way to cook X, or what is something like a knowledge question in general, because if you break it down, you're asking for like the general body of knowledge that's out there. And that nowadays, you better outsource that, I think, to the internet in some way, because that's what you're asking. But what the AI may not know, what the AI probably doesn't know, is everything that is unique to the person you're talking about, because everyone's life is unique. The things they went through in life are also quite unique. And although AI has captured a lot of stuff out there, it has certainly not captured every human's existence. And you think about how many people on the earth, that's how many people's worldviews there are. And a lot of them have things in common, but I would argue that every single one of them is distinctly unique, and that is actually quite magnificent if you think about it. It is not something to be taken lightly. Hold on, turn the music here. And so when I talk to this person, I feel like, instead of just focusing on or even arguing about how things should or shouldn't be done, which is generally like a moral grandstanding or an ethics question anyway, and just focus on exchanging information about relevant topics and just have a shared experience. I know it sounds weird to formalize like this kind of thing, but I think it helps me, because if I don't understand the structure of something, I don't know how to proceed. The thing that surprised me today that really, I guess it's a sexual conservatism. This lady, when she was in high school, which was quite a long time ago, she was, according to her, the most popular girl in her high school, with allegedly fans, groups of boys screaming her name, love letters or love things in her shoebox. If she just left it at that, I might not believe her, but then she said, she had a lot, just very plainly, she said that many girls didn't want to walk home with her, and therefore she kind of was alone most of the time. That would line up. I mean, nobody wants to walk along a girl that's just infinitely more popular. It's annoying. Girls, like men, are always wired to seek male attention. So that I didn't know, and she was very eager to express that kind of thing. Also, that her father was very authoritative. Every time she did something naughty or a little bit, I don't know, against the norm, her father would hit her mother, his wife, basically, and say things like to their mother, you see, this is what happens when you don't discipline your child. And because the following time, she would not want to, she doesn't want her mother to get hurt or get hit again, so she would just do exactly what the father said. It's kind of a authoritarian disciplinary action, but while some might find this to be extremely horrifying, according to her, she has nothing but the utmost respect for her father, despite the fact that she hated him up until the time when she was able to leave home. And so, surprising. She said things like how a lot of guys, they try to call her. This is an age where there's no cell phones, so people don't have their own private lines. And so guys at high school reunions that she attends now, guys would come up and say, Jinko, I used to call you all the time, and man, your father's one scary guy. This is crazy. This is kind of funny, okay? And apparently she never got the phone calls. We're talking about a girl who's very, very pretty, obviously. No one gets that popular getting pretty. And her father's fielding the phone calls away. And the image is just hilarious to me. A high school reunion like 30 years later, it's like, yo, dude, your fucking father was so scared. But back then, because there's no internet and it's hard to get reference points, right? The only reference point you can get is from books or you talk to your friends. She just thought this was normal, okay? And the reason I think you would not fault the father for the violence is that because he did it for a higher reason. That is, she wanted to protect her children, his children, her, from basically getting misguided in life. So, if violence was the way he did it, maybe that's a bit too, maybe soft power would have been better. But he did it for a reason, and that makes it, in my book, entirely different from misguided or random violence through alcohol, which serves no purpose, just to fulfill the urge to beat someone. So, okay, other surprising fact. You think someone that popular would, lose her virginity really fast? Nope. Because of the strict father, 28. That's very surprising. Friends were like asking her to take, to accompany her to the doctor, because her friends would be like, oh shit, am I pregnant? And they're like 20, and she had no idea what it was like, right? So the question might be there, and you ask yourself, is how the father raised the child correct? And hard to say is it right or wrong, but I think by today's lens, I think the father would be considered to be way too strict, way too authoritative, authoritarian, and certainly with the advent of the internet would be the biggest thing, right? Think about it. Without the internet, this can be normal to people, okay, within the family. How would you know, right? But the internet, yeah, I don't think so. Okay, you watch shows, you talk about the internet, and you realize your father's fucking crazy. He'd call him that. His power gets overturned. Why? Not because it's not the right thing, okay, as who's the arbiter of this, but because the groups over the average of what everyone does as families as a whole become like compressed into so that's an interesting point, I think. She only got married because of arranged marriage. That's incredible. That's, I don't know, that's fascinating to me. And the thing about this whole thing though is that I'm not sure if other families were more like this too. Like, you know, it may not, I'll have to ask ChatGPT later. We don't know. But that was very surprising. The other surprising thing, because this lady's been coming to my house, I think third or fourth time now. And apparently, some of her friends, her lady friends at a dance club, think it's inappropriate. They think because I'm a guy of 40-some, and look, she's already 70 plus. They're like snickering, saying, "Oh, must be some naughty sexual things going on." I'm like, wow. I don't think I could ever be attracted sexually to anyone over even 45. Just, it's just, they're too, I don't know. I guess I just watch too much porn. The younger ones just, oh my God, it's just so much better. So that kind of thinking only affirms the thought that I think, I'll never be sure, that not many people have had that much interesting sex, or their sex life was a lot more not so interesting, I would say, in the past. Today, I think women are far more promiscuous, if I'm just trying to guess here, because she's talking to friends who are similar age, right? And there's not many barriers to like who you want to have sex with and all that. So, you know, that's surprising. Those are the only two surprising points. And I don't have any big point. I'm just chronicling what I just heard today, so I don't forget. I am going through a notebook, a physical, actual notebook that I use to write things down while I talk to her. It was almost like I was, you know, those detectives who interview people, witnesses and stuff. And people might think it'd be off-putting, but I think she said, "Oh my God, well, you know, why you writing it all down?" But you know, before she knew it, she was like just saying her story and having a lot of good. I think she had a good time, you know, with some coffee and everything like, on this table. And I think people enjoy that. I think I would. I think she's talked a lot. Oh man, like she spilled like all this information, right? And the point is that, you know, GPT was right. If you sit there attentive and don't try to fill the silence, you just contain your own energy, listen as if you're listening, like a doctor or a psychiatrist would, people open up so fast. And they want to tell you so many things because they're no longer on a defensive. Everything she said, I just didn't react and go, "Oh my God," or I didn't do that. I just went, okay, all right. So like I'm thinking about what she's saying, and I really was thinking about what she was saying and pondering it first, considering it first. I felt this is good. This is by keeping the energy level that at a more moderate pace, at a more even tone. I think it was a lot more fun. And I was, you know, I can still feel the, how do I put this? Anxiety. It's not anxiety level. It's more like the the tension level, like my brain's energy base level go higher and higher. You know, it's hard to zone out when someone's present with you, like a stranger. But one thing I know for sure is that I did not act the same way my mother used to, which is go super hyperactive guest mode every time someone came over. And why that's fine, I really dislike that part of her. I don't like it when people change their entire character when a friend of theirs comes in and then switch back to nasty to your spouse mode right after. That's flip-flop, Jekyll and Hyde thing, I don't like it. I love people who have consistency of character, and whether they're in public, whether in private, it's really hard to get them both to be the same. It'd be very odd. But that's just one weird goal I want to push for, because I admire that. When I see that in a movie, I think that's amazing. It's a subtle thing, right? Whoever thinks, oh, I want to be someone who's consistent, around other strangers and when I'm at home alone. But it's a goal because I think in order to do that, I think, and I've tried to exercise this muscle, is that you have to stare, what they call stare into the abyss, which means you have to sit there with no distractions and just examine yourself, everything I've done so far in life, the things I don't like about myself, the things that I do like, and just kind of like without judgment, without moral grandstanding, think, oh, that's who I am. And it's okay, but okay, if some things are really like, just cannot be, what is that word called? You cannot reconcile it with reality, then just make some adjustments, But I would say never, ever, ever repress anything, right? Just don't let it leak out into a chaotic, like socially disagreeable behavior. Think that's a very noble goal, and I'm trying to practice it every day. And I just GPT just tells you, because what I realize is the more you know about the scenario, like let's say you talk, even think like friends coming over and talking to you, this is a thing, and you just kind of look, well, what's going on here? Like, what do we talk about? Should we have a notebook open or not? Like, these are all things that can make the experience better or worse. And I just think, well, you don't have to be like a complete psychopathic, not complete like crazy min-maxer, but some thought about it can't hurt. And I did that, and I'm pretty happy about it. And this is an overall like quest of trying to find the truth within myself and trying to find just how to be. And like that involves a lot of, I don't know, like just creating your own authored self. As corny as it sounds, it traces back to Jordan Peterson and what he was talking about. I think that's correct.